सरकारी नौकरी मिल गई तो लाइफ सेट है। सरकारी नौकरी तो परमानेंट है, टेंशन क्या है? सरकारी नौकरी में आराम ज्यादा, काम कम है. Now I'm sure that a lot of you must have heard these statements. Just to transcribe for the people who do not understand Hindi, once you get a government job, your life is set. Government jobs are permanent, so there is no need to worry. Government jobs have more of rest and less of work. A lot of you must have heard these statements from your relatives, from your neighbors, from your friends, and especially from people of your parents' generation. Are these statements true? Do these statements hold any merit? I'm going to decipher all these things in this video. On this video, I am going to discuss what a government job entails, what are the merits and demerits of working in a government job. I'm going to discuss the work pressure and the lifestyle of a government job. Stay tuned till the very end because I'm also going to share my personal experience of working with the government of India for the past 6 years. So just a quick introduction about myself. I'm Ayushi. I'm an Indian Economic Service Officer and have worked with the government of India for the past 6 years. I've also worked with the state government of Andhra Pradesh before that, so I'm in a position to talk about government jobs from a 360-degree viewpoint. Let's start the video. On this video, I'm going to discuss 6 aspects. First, I'm going to talk about different entry routes of working with the government, how you can work with the government. I've also made a separate video on how you can work with the government in a public policy role. You can find it on the top and you can watch it after this video. I'll talk about the salary structure with the government. I'm also going to discuss the perks of working with the government. This is one of the most frequently asked questions to me, so I'm going to cover this aspect. The third thing I'm going to talk about is the work pressure in government job and what is the kind of lifestyle you can expect if you are working with the government. The fourth point, a very crucial aspect, is about job security. I'm going to discuss that in detail with you. The fifth point is regarding the exit opportunities. Now, if you've worked with the government and are looking to work in a different role somewhere else, then what are the exit routes that are available to you? And finally, I'm going to end this video by discussing my personal experience of working with the government, what I like about this job and what I don't like about this job. Stay tuned till the very end because this is going to give you a comprehensive view of what a government job looks like. Let's start the video. So the first aspect is about entry route. Now, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to divide the entry route into two parts. A is through direct entry and B is lateral entry. So direct entry means that usually you have cleared a government exam and are working with the government directly. You have been recruited directly by the government. For example, Indian Administrative Service, Indian Police Service, Indian Revenue Service, Foreign Service, and so on and so forth. These are the officers that are directly recruited by the government through the civil service examination. There are other services which are more technical in nature, such as Indian Economic Service, the service that I belong to, Indian Engineering Service, which are also recruited by the government directly through a specialized exam that the UPSC conducts. The other direct entry routes could be if you're working with a government hospital as a doctor, if you're working in the defense, if you're working as a government teacher or a government professor in a school or a university. Now, these are the different direct entry routes. Now, there is also something called as lateral entry. I've also made a separate video on what are the lateral entry routes to work with the government for a shorter duration. You can also watch it to get a better understanding. Now, lateral entry usually means that you're working with the government for a specified period of time and for a specific project. This usually is between 1 to 5 years depending on the role and depending on the level you are working at. Lateral entry is more of a subject matter expert and you work with the government for a specific scheme only. Now, for the purpose of this video, I am only going to focus on Group A and Group B jobs which are recruited through direct entry. Otherwise, the video will become very long and there are so many aspects that I'll have to cover that you will get bored. So the other aspects that I'm going to discuss would be focused only on these. The second aspect is about salaries and perks. Now, salaries of a government job are very transparent by design. Usually, the salaries are decided on the basis of the recommendation of a Central Pay Commission. This is a committee which sits every few years and decides the salary structure of different government jobs. For example, the current salary structure in the Government of India is decided by the 7th Central Pay Commission. Now, there are different aspects or different components to the salary. There is a base salary, there is dearness allowance, there is the transport allowance, there is a house rent allowance, and different other such components depending on what kind of job you're doing. For defense, it could vary. There could be other hardship allowances and so on and so forth. It could actually vary depending on the job. However, these are the four major components. Now, coming to the most important and the most frequently asked question about government jobs, the perks. What are the perks of working in a government job? The answer is fairly simple. It depends. It depends on what kind of job you're doing, on where you're posted, and what level you are at. So, for example, if you're an IS officer or an IPS officer who is working at the district level, you will get a good government accommodation. You will get a government vehicle to commute to and fro from your workplace, and you will get other kinds of facilities such as house help, such as ration, etc. Similarly, if you're a defense officer and you're posted in one of the remote locations, then you will get all these facilities. But if you're an officer who is just starting out and are posted in a metropolitan city like Delhi, then you may not get these facilities immediately. You may get these facilities a few years down the line. The reason is fairly simple. Usually, there is a lot of demand for government accommodation and government vehicle in metropolitan cities, in major cities. Therefore, access is not provided to all the officers if they're just starting out. The third aspect is around work pressure. Now, usually there is a perceived notion that government jobs are very easy. There is no work pressure because you get a fixed salary every month and they are considered to be permanent in nature. Therefore, the work pressure is extremely low. Let me break this down for you. Work pressure for a Group A officer is immense. You are required to solve complex challenges in a very short period of time. Additionally, there is a lot of stakeholder management. You have to work with politicians, you have to work with other bureaucrats, you have to work with civil society, with media, with activists, and so on. Therefore, stakeholder management becomes extremely important. And the more the stakeholders, the more the work pressure. This may especially be true for certain jobs such as IS and IPS who directly work with politicians. Therefore, work pressure can be very immense. Of course, there can be phases wherein the work pressure is very high and there could be phases where the work pressure is not very low. So, if you're someone who has heard that there is no work pressure in government jobs, this is absolutely not true. You have to work at least 10 to 12 hours every day as a Group A officer. You even have to spend your weekends there. The era wherein you did not have to work that much, your weekends were off, and you could actually travel on government expenditure is long gone. So please don't buy into these arguments. Think before you're applying for a government job. Work pressure can be immense. There could be challenging movements in your career as well. However, they can provide you with a great learning opportunity because you learn all these skills. You learn administration, you learn stakeholder management, you learn problem solving, you learn to interact with people from different spheres. So, this could be a very enriching opportunity as well. Now, the fourth aspect is around job security, and this is considered to be one of the most crucial aspects of a government job. People usually think that once you have gotten into a government service, you are usually set for life because you will be working with the government till your retirement. Let me give you the actual situation here. This could be true for a large majority of the government officers. However, things are changing and things are changing at a rapid pace. It is still not easy to relieve a government officer completely from their job, but they are being scrutinized, their performance is being measured just like in the private sector. The fifth aspect is around exit opportunities. Now, if you've worked with the government in a specific role, the exit opportunities available to you are immense. You can go on to work with multilateral organizations such as World Bank, such as Asian Development Bank as a consultant or a specialist. People have also pursued their higher education degrees such as their PhD or MBA and have gone on to work with private sector as management consultants. You can also work as an academician. You can also become an author or columnist, right? So there are multiple opportunities available if you're a government officer and want to work in the private sector later on. Now, finally, I'm going to conclude this video by talking about my experience of working with the government. I have so far around 6 odd years of work experience with the government of India. The aspects that I like about government job. First, it gives me great opportunity to work with people from different spheres. I have interacted with senior bureaucrats, I have worked with them, I have worked with senior academicians, I have worked with experts from multilateral organizations. These learning opportunities are immense. This is the kind of environment which I probably would not have gotten had I been working somewhere else. The second aspect I like about my job is that I get to bring about a change in the lives of the people of this country. I have worked on large schemes. I have worked on schemes such as Manrega, Swachh Bharat Mission, Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Gram Awas Yojana. I always wanted to work in the public policy sphere. I wanted to contribute to the upliftment of people and development of the country. So this seems to be the best job out there. I like the fact that I've worked on such large schemes that can potentially transform the lives of millions of people. The third aspect that I really love about this job is that I get to work on complex challenges. I get to see what are the challenges that are faced at the grassroots level and I get to solve them. Now, this has a steep learning curve. I have to go through several reports, I do a cross country comparison, and work on solving these problems for the people. This has been a really good aspect for my personal growth. So, these are the top 3 things I would say that I love about my job. The demerits. First is that there is a sense of complacency that comes in if you're working in a government job. Now, this may not be true for everybody, but however, I've seen that this is true for a certain section of the people. So, if you're working in a government job and if you're doing those regular tasks every single day, it kind of becomes mundane, and then you kind of forget that you have to work on your personal growth as well. This, I would say, is number one demerit. And this may not be true only for government jobs, but this is something that I have observed in my colleagues. Second, I don't like the aspect that you cannot leave your job and join it back again without clearing the government exam again. There is an age limit to the government examination, and if you are over that age limit, you cannot even appear for the exam. This means that at a personal level, you might not be able to explore a lot of opportunities in the private sector. You can definitely work with the private sector while you're working with the government. However, you may not be able to take on full-time roles with the private sector. Third, the prestige and the high handedness that is associated with the government job is a lot in India. Things, however, are not as bad. The new entrants that are entering into government jobs are bringing with them a lot of positive force. There is a lot of attitude and behavioral shift, and they're seriously working towards the upliftment of the society. They have come with a set frame of mind to contribute to the nation building, and that is a very positive aspect. So this was my personal experience of working with the government. I hope you like this video. I tried to give a 360-degree view of working with the government, what a government job entails. If I missed any aspects, please do drop them in the comment box below. I will definitely make a video on that. And if there are any other aspects of government jobs, of public policy sector, of finance sector that you would like me to cover in my subsequent videos, do let me know. Till then, stay safe, take care. Bye.